You know those days? The ones that feel like wading through thick, sticky mud before you even clock in? That was my day. Every bone in my body ached, not just from standing for hours, pumping gas, wiping down counters, and dealing with, well, people, but from something deeper. A tiredness that settled right in my soul. I work at a gas station. It's not glamorous. It's mostly quiet, especially during the late afternoon lull. But sometimes quiet is worse. It gives you too much time to think about the bills piling up, about how lonely it gets sometimes, about dreams you had that feel like they're gathering dust on a shelf you can't quite reach anymore. That particular Tuesday felt extra heavy. My manager had called in sick, leaving me to handle everything alone for longer than usual. The coffee machine decided to splutter its last breath mid-morning rush. A kid spilled a giant soda right by the entrance, creating a sticky lake I spent 20 minutes mopping up. Little things, sure, but they pile up, like tiny weights added one by one until you feel like you're going to buckle. By 3 o'clock I was running on fumes. My scheduled break felt less like a luxury and more like a lifeline. Just 15 minutes. 15 minutes to sit down in the tiny back room, kick off my worn-out sneakers and breathe. Maybe eat the squished sandwich I'd packed that morning. Just 15 minutes of silence. I flipped the sturdy plastic sign on the counter. The one with big clear letters, "Be right back on break." I checked the lock on the sliding glass door. Then I retreated to the back room, sinking onto the rickety chair with a sigh that felt like it came from my toes. The silence was bliss. I closed my eyes for maybe 2 whole minutes. Then, bang. A loud, insistent thud on the glass door. My eyes snapped open. My heart gave a little jump. Sometimes people didn't see the sign. Okay. Annoying but okay. I waited a beat, hoping they'd read it and be patient. Bang, bang, bang. Harder this time. Angry. My stomach tightened. This felt different. Not just impatient. Aggressive. I got up slowly, my legs feeling stiff. I walked back to the front, peering through the glass. There he was. A man, maybe in his late 50s, red-faced, dressed in a suit that looked expensive but crumpled. He was rattling the door handle now, his knuckles white. I pointed to the on-break sign, still hanging clearly on the counter right in front of him. I tried to offer a small apologetic smile, hoping to diffuse whatever anger he was radiating. He saw me point. He looked at the sign, then he looked back at me, his eyes narrowing into slits, and he started yelling. The sound was muffled through the glass, but the fury was crystal clear. "Are you kidding me?" His voice rose, distorted but loud. "On break. Now. I've been waiting. Waiting?" I'd been gone maybe 3 minutes. My heart started to pound. This wasn't just impatience. This was rage. I took a deep breath. I had to go out there. It was my job. Maybe I could calm him down. Explain. I unlocked the door, sliding it open just a crack. Instantly, his voice hit me like a physical force. "What the hell do you think you're doing?" He spat, jabbing a finger towards the sign. "People are waiting. I have places to be. You think you deserve a break? Doing this?" He waved a dismissive hand around the small, clean store. My throat felt tight. "Sir, I'm legally entitled to a 15-minute break. I've only been gone a few minutes. I can help you right now." My voice trembled slightly. I hated that it trembled. "Entitled." He laughed, a short, harsh sound. "Entitled. You pump gas and sell chips." What's so taxing about that? Some people work real jobs, you know. We don't get to just wander off whenever we feel like it. His words stung. Deeply. Because some days I did wonder if this job mattered. If I mattered. Hearing it thrown in my face like that, with such contempt, it broke something inside me. Tears pricked at the back of my eyes. I blinked rapidly, refusing to let them fall. "Sir, please," I whispered. "There's no need to yell. What can I help you with?" "Don't you tell me not to yell," he roared, taking a step closer. I instinctively took a step back, bumping into the counter. He smelled faintly of stale cigarettes, an expensive cologne, a jarring mix. "I'll yell if I want to. This is pathetic service. Where's your manager? I want to talk to someone in charge." "He's not here today, sir," I said, my voice barely audible now. I felt small, powerless, trapped. The gas station suddenly felt very isolated. The road outside seemed distant. No other cars were pulling in. It was just me, and this furious man. Of course he isn't, the man sneered. Probably taking a break too. The whole lazy bunch of you. He slammed his hand flat on the counter, making me jump violently. Now, are you going to do your job, or just stand there looking useless? That was it. The tears welled up, hot and heavy. One escaped, tracing a path down my cheek. I quickly wiped it away, but I knew he saw it. A flicker of something, satisfaction, crossed his face before the anger returned, doubled. Oh boo-hoo, he mocked. Crying now. Can't handle a little criticism. Maybe you're in the wrong line of work. My mind raced. Should I call the police? What would I even say? A man is yelling at me because I took my break? It sounded silly, but I felt genuinely scared. His anger felt like it could boil over any second. He hadn't touched me, but his presence, his voice, his sheer rage, felt like an assault. I opened my mouth to say something. I don't even know what, when I heard it. The low rumble of an engine. Not just any engine. This one sounded deep, powerful, expensive, different from the usual sedans and pickup trucks. A sleek, black car, maybe an SUV, but lower, meaner looking, glided silently up to the pumps. It was the kind of car you usually only see in movies. For a split second, the man yelling at me paused, glancing over his shoulder at the sound. But his anger was too consuming. He turned back to me, leaning over the counter menacingly. Well, are you going to serve me, or not? Just then, the driver's side door of the black car opened. I couldn't really see who it was at first. The sun was catching the windshield. But I saw boots, worn, cool-looking boots, then jeans, a loose shirt, maybe some necklaces, a hat pulled low, scarves? Yes, definitely scarves. The figure walked casually towards the entrance, seeming to take in the scene without rushing. The angry man hadn't noticed him properly yet. He was still focused on me, his face flushed. I asked you a question. The figure stopped just outside the door, and then a voice, quiet, but with a distinct gravelly tone I felt like I knew from somewhere. Everything all right here? The angry man whipped around, annoyed at the interruption. This is none of your business, pal, he snapped. The figure pushed the door open gently and stepped inside. He took off his sunglasses, and my breath caught in my throat. My mind went completely blank. The angry customer, the shouting, the tears, it all faded into background noise. Because standing right there, looking slightly concerned, was Johnny Depp. Not a look-alike. Not someone who vaguely resembled him. It was him. The hat, the scarves, the slightly quirky style, and those familiar eyes. Eyes that were now looking from the furious customer to me, huddled behind the counter. The angry man clearly didn't recognize him at first. Or maybe he was too blinded by his own rage. I said, "Stay out of it," he repeated, trying to sound intimidating. Johnny Depp didn't raise his voice. He didn't get aggressive. He just tilted his head slightly, his gaze settling on the red-faced man. There was a calmness about him, but also an intensity. "Seems like you're pretty upset," Depp said, his voice still quiet, making quite a scene. The man scoffed. This employee, he spat the word out, gesturing at me, decided to take a break when customers are waiting. Can you believe the nerve? He seemed to be seeking validation, maybe hoping this stranger would back him up. Johnny Depp looked at me. Really looked. His eyes were surprisingly kind. He saw the on-break sign still on the counter. He saw my tear-streaked face, though I tried to hide it. He saw my trembling hands. He turned back to the angry man. "She's on break," he asked, gesturing to the sign. "Says so right there. Looks like she might need it." Need it. The man spluttered, his face somehow getting even redder. "For what? Standing around. It's called work ethic. Something she clearly knows nothing about." Depp took a step closer, not menacingly, but firmly closing the distance slightly. He still hadn't raised his voice. "You know," he said, his voice thoughtful, almost conversational, "it takes a lot more energy than you think to stand all day, dealing with people, especially people who are demanding." He paused, letting the word hang in the air. "Everyone deserves a moment to breathe. Everyone deserves basic respect. Don't you think?" The man seemed taken aback. Maybe it was the calm confidence. Maybe something about Depp's face was starting to click. His bluster seemed to deflate slightly. "Well, yeah, but she should be working." "She was working," Depp countered smoothly. "And now she's taking a legally mandated break. Seems pretty straightforward." He then looked directly at the man, his expression becoming a little more serious. "Was yelling at her really necessary? Did it make you feel better? Bigger?" The question hung heavy in the small store. The angry man shifted his weight. He looked from Depp to me, then back to Depp. Recognition finally dawned in his eyes. His jaw dropped slightly. He started, then trailed off, looking utterly flustered. Johnny Depp gave a small, almost imperceptible nod. He didn't seem fazed by the recognition. His focus was still on the situation. Look, Depp said, his tone softening just a fraction, but still firm. Everyone has bad days. Maybe you're having one. But taking it out on someone just trying to do their job, someone who clearly needed a minute, that's not okay. It's just not. The man was speechless. He looked horrified, embarrassed. He opened his mouth, then closed it again. The anger had completely drained from his face, replaced by a mortified pale shade. He glanced at me, then quickly looked away, unable to meet my eyes. I think I'll just go somewhere else, he mumbled, his voice barely a whisper. He practically scurried out of the store, not looking back, fumbling with his car keys as he went. He didn't even glance at the fancy black car parked at the pumps. He just wanted to disappear. And then he was gone. The silence that felt huge, deafening. It was just me and Johnny Depp in the little gas station shop. My heart was still hammering, but for a different reason now. The fear was gone, replaced by a strange mix of relief, disbelief, and overwhelming gratitude. He turned to me. His expression was gentle. "You okay?" he asked softly. I couldn't find my voice. I just nodded, trying to wipe away the remaining tear tracks without seeming like a total mess. "That was pretty rough," he said, leaning casually against the counter now. "Nobody deserves that kind of treatment. Thank you." I finally managed to choke out. My voice was thick with emotion. You didn't have to do that." He shrugged slightly, a faint smile playing on his lips. "Nobody should get away with treating people like that. Basic kindness, you know? Doesn't cost anything." He paused, looking around the store. "So, is the break officially over now?" I nodded again, feeling a slightly hysterical giggle bubble up. "Yeah, I guess so." "Good," he said. He walked over to the cooler section, because I could really use a cold drink. He grabbed a bottle of water, and a couple of chocolate bars. He brought them to the counter, placing them down gently. As I scanned the items, my hands still shaking a little, he pulled out his wallet. It was a worn leather wallet, stuffed with cards and bits of paper. Surprisingly normal. "Seriously," I said, finding my voice again. "Thank you so much." I was pretty scared. "I could see that," he said kindly. He was way out of line. "Don't let guys like that get to you. You're doing just fine." He paid for his items, handing me a bill that was way more than the total. When I fumbled to make change, he waved his hand. "Keep it," he said with a wink. "Hazard pay." Before I could protest, he picked up his water and candy. "Take care of yourself," he said, giving me another small genuine smile. And just like that, he walked out, got back into his cool black car, and drove away, the deep rumble of the engine fading down the road. I stood there for a long moment, alone again in the quiet gas station. The own brake sign was still on the counter. The extra money he'd given me was clutched in my hand. Did that really just happen? Did Johnny Depp really just defend me against a furious customer? It felt completely surreal, like a scene from a movie I didn't know I was in. But the feeling wasn't just starstruck awe, it was something deeper. It was the feeling of being seen, of being stood up for when I felt completely powerless. That man's words had cut deep, reinforcing all my own doubts and insecurities about my job, about my life. But Johnny Depp's simple act of kindness, his quiet defense, it had countered all of that. He didn't have to intervene. He could have just ignored the commotion, gotten his water and left. But he didn't. He saw someone being treated unfairly, and he stepped in, not with aggression, but with calm, firm words about respect and kindness. It changed the whole day. The heavy feelings started to lift. The memory of the angry man started to fade, replaced by the unbelievable, kindness-filled encounter. It didn't magically solve my problems, pay my bills, or fix the broken coffee machine. But it gave me something else. A reminder that there's still good in the world, that unexpected moments of connection can happen, and that even on the toughest days, sometimes, a little bit of movie magic can spill over into real life. I finished the rest of my shift feeling lighter. Still tired, yes, but with a small smile I couldn't quite wipe off my face. Every time the bell chimed, I half expected another celebrity to walk in. They didn't, of course, but the feeling lingered, that anything was possible. And that maybe, just maybe, Even a gas station worker having a tough day matters. What a crazy, unbelievable day, right? It just goes to show you never know who might walk through the door, or how a small act of kindness can completely turn things around. Have you ever had a totally unexpected encounter that changed your day, or even your perspective? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your stories. If you enjoyed this story and want to hear more like it, please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next story. Sharing this video with your friends helps us reach more people too. Thanks so much for listening. Until next time, take care, and remember to be kind.